This was the climate in January 1919, when heads of state gathered at Versailles to settle the terms of peace after World War I. The terms of the peace settlement, along with the tensions caused by the Russian Revolution, became a major factor in setting the stage for World War II. The leaders of the major victorious powers, Woodrow Wilson of the United States, Georges Clemenceau of France, and David Lloyd George of Britain, dominated the debate. What price should the defeated countries pay the victors? How should the map of the world be redrawn? What could be done to prevent a future war? Wilson spoke as leader of the country that during the war had become the world's main financial and industrial center. He hoped to use this position to protect the losers from harsh penalties and to prevent the winners from any large-scale annexation of new territory. Wilson had formulated his ideas into 14 points, including disarmament, an end to secret diplomacy, freedom of the seas, the right of all nations to self-government, and the creation of a League of Nations to settle all future international disputes. The French and British leaders represented people who were still suffering from the death and devastation of the war and were clamoring for revenge against Germany. They either rejected Wilson's points or interpreted them so that they no longer served the intended purpose. For example, the conference acknowledged the principle of self-government in reorganizing the hodgepodge of feuding nationalities that before the war had constituted the Austro-Hungarian Empire. But as the new nations were carved out, many nationalities were left in the position of discontented minorities under governments that did not always represent their interests. Wilson clung most tenaciously to the idea of a League of Nations. He argued for a worldwide organization that specifically included Russia, but, as finally created, the League excluded both Germany and the Soviet Union. When Wilson returned home, he met the worst failure of all. The United States Senate, wanting to isolate the nation from European political controversies, rejected the Versailles Treaty and membership in the League. This headline, announcing the final terms of the peace treaty in June 1919, reflects the dominant spirit of revenge against Germany, even in its use of the derogatory term Huns. Germany was stripped of all its colonial possessions. France and Britain solidified their control of Africa by dividing most of them. Japan got the bulk of Germany's scattered island holdings in the Pacific.